Is FOMO keeping you from greatness? Hey, it's Lucas Grobot, and you're listening to Weaver and Loom. Hey, welcome back to Weaver and Loom. This is episode 94. I am so excited because last Thursday, just a few days ago, October 4th, 2019, my book, Anchored the Discipline to Stop Drifting, was released into the world, into your hands, and I hope that you have gotten it, because if you have been listening to this podcast for any length of time and you enjoy it, then I can promise you that you will enjoy the book. It is highly actionable, it is short, it is practical, and it is full of great stories. And one of the chapters, the last chapter that I'm going to share from today, it kind of goes full circle to the beginning about embracing the mundane, embracing the journey, embracing the grind, knowing that if we are consistent, if we maintain focus and vision through the long haul, that we will reach our goals, we will reach our destination, we will achieve that which we have set out to achieve. But the problem is that so many of us are caught in FOMO. FOMO, if you've not heard of the term, you probably all have. FOMO, the fear of missing out. The fear of missing out. It could be killing and squashing your dreams as we speak. When I was probably about 24, I had some pretty serious FOMO. I would start on a project and start really excited. I'm amped. This is it. This is going to be awesome. This is so exciting. It's going to be a crazy adventure. And then 3 or 4 months in, I'd hit a wall. And all of a sudden, that adventure is no longer exciting. And I start falling into comparison. Guys, comparison is death. If you are starting to compare yourself to someone else, whether better than you or worse than you, you know that you are in a toxic place in your mind, and you need to take control of those thoughts, and you need to begin to move into gratitude and thankfulness, because that is what combats that spirit of comparison and jealousy. And with comparison and with jealousy, with envy, is every evil thing. It will grow into a monster and consume your life. And FOMO is probably the sister or ugly cousin, or maybe not so ugly cousin, of comparison. It is the same thing. When we're falling into fear of missing out, is because we are comparing our life to someone else's, to something else. And it causes us to short circuit so often. And so I was in this place where, and luckily I didn't pull the eject button on this one, but I was in this place, I was doing this amazing project. I thought it was going to be so great. And all of a sudden I look over my shoulder and I hear of someone else who's doing something cooler. And I'm like, oh man, I think I missed it. Man, is this really what I should be doing right now? Did I make the wrong choice? I have friends that my wife tells me about, these people that she knows that they enroll in one school and they're like, 3 months later, I don't think it's really going to work for me. They go into an internship 2 weeks later. That's not what I really thought it was going to be. They move to another city. They do another thing, and it's like they're floating and bouncing from thing to thing, and their shelf is full of unfinished products because they never finished anything that they started. FOMO will cause us to not finish what we start. And at first that might seem like, well, I cut my losses and that's good. But sooner or later, it becomes a pattern. And as it becomes a pattern, we can't break it. Our shelf becomes full of unfinished item, unfinished item, unfinished item, unfinished item. And as that builds up in our mind, as it builds up in our life, we lose the confidence, we lose the grit, we lose the self-control, we lose the drive and the vision to actually complete the project that we are working on right now. Because we said, well, yeah, I didn't finish the other 25 projects that I've done over the last 3 years. So it's probably not a really big deal if I don't finish this one. I've learned something, right? It's all part of the process. I wasn't really meaning to finish it. I picked up some things. I learned some things along the way. It's a lesson. I'll just set it to the side. But that builds up and that taxes our mind, our energy, our thought process, and it undermines our confidence in ourselves to deliver. And if you are in any sort of freelance or any sort of business, small business, big business, you know that if you do not deliver, if you do not keep your commitments, whether they're big or small, you will be out of business before you know it. We are people. We must be people who keep and follow through with our commitments. It is this, if you get one thing out of this book, let it be this last chapter, that you are someone who commits and follows through with your commitments. You don't leave something half done, because a job half done is a job undone. It's not finished. So what can you do? If you are finding yourself in this place with a laundry list of unfinished projects, a laundry list of to-dos that are never quite getting done, what can you do about it? Well, I have two simple steps that you can take today. First, go through that list and identify things that were a complete and utter waste of time, things that were just frivolous, things that you decided not to complete because they were actually sucking life from you. Actually, they were distracting you from your vision. They weren't leading you closer to what you're going to do. Kill those. Decide to kill them. Don't just I'll finish it later. Scratch it off your list and say, this is not important for my life. The second thing that you can do is find one or two. What's the closest thing that you're almost finished to completing? Find that and complete that. Because what it's going to do, it's going to begin to boost confidence in yourself that you can actually complete something. You can actually follow through. And so find those easy wins up front. Find one and then two and then three and work on one project until it's done. And then move on to the second and then move on to the third. And that is going to begin to reprogram that habit of not finishing, of not following through with your commitments. And as we change that behavior, it's going to change the way that we think. It's going to change the things that we commit to. Because now we know, okay, if I'm committing to something, and if I'm saying yes, I have to follow through on it. Am I able to actually follow through on this? Should I really be saying yes to this right now? Because I actually have this other list of commitments that are actually going to get me closer to my vision and my goal. Should I say yes over here or should I say no? It will help you think through that. Once you know that no matter what, you have to follow through with your commitments, you have to finish what you start, you begin to think and live your life differently. You begin to prioritize in your life, and you'll find yourself conserving energy because you're not wasting it on fruitless and frivolous things. So I hope that's helpful to you. I have to remind myself of this all the time. I love saying yes to things. I love helping people. And because of that, I can get distracted. I can have unfinished projects. So I'm there in it with you. This is how I think. This is how I live. This is things that I do. Like this book, it's been hanging over my head for a long time. And finally, someone challenged me and said, you know what? You just need to finish it. You just need to cross it off your list and get it done with and get it out there into the world so that you can move on to your next project. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And so the last couple weeks, I just crammed and slammed and focused and put so much energy into finishing my book, Anchored the Discipline to Stop Drifting. The link is in the show notes. And it was hard work. But now I am so relieved. It's like this block that was sitting on my shoulder that's gone. because I finished. And that gives me a boost of confidence. So I hope that you can start and finish something today, this week, this month. Don't let it draw out for 2-3 months. Do it within a month. Finish one project. So thank you. Please, it would mean so much to you if you went and bought my book, Anchored: The Discipline to Stop Drifting. Why would it mean so much to you? Because there are ideas in there that, if implemented, will change your life. Please, if you enjoy this podcast, it would mean so much to me as my friend for you to share it with one of your other friends. That would be great. As always, I'm Lucas Grobot. You are a change maker, and this is where destiny is woven.